Can you hear me? Can you see me? Great! I am Teacher Femie. Can you say my name? Teacher Femie. Wow! Fantastic! Well, if you actually repeated after me, thank you. You're a fantastic student. This is normally how I begin my class because I am an online preschool tutor. And what do we need to be? An online teacher. So here we need a desktop or a laptop, high-speed internet, of course, HD web camera, and noise canceling headphones or noise canceling apps, just like what I am using right now. Um, I am a proud alumna of the University of Baguio School of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. I finished AB English in 2015. So being an AB English graduate has opened many opportunities for me because we live in a time when learning English has become a necessity in so many non-English speaking countries. Let me give you a background of my teaching experience and why I chose this profession. Right after the day of my graduation, I already started teaching in Leaders in Fundamental English or Life Academy in Troncoville. I taught Arab students, and this was an interesting time because I was able to explore different teaching styles, and it was really an enriching experience learning about my students' culture too. Now, however, even before I graduated, I was already teaching ESL part-time. Our batch had a 4-month vacation because of the transition to the K to 12 curriculum. And I didn't want to go home to Nueva Ecija, my province. So I applied as an online teacher and got hired in a Korean online school in Brentwood Village. And for my OJT, I also taught Korean exchange students from Jeonju University. But my love for teaching actually started in Victory Kids Church. I was a volunteer in Victory Wright Park in my 3rd year in college. And there I felt that teaching was something that I wanted to do as a career. So I prayed about it. Let me share how I confirmed that this is the path for me. I was thinking of taking extra BS education units to be eligible to take the licensure exams for teachers. So I prayed about it because I didn't want to take the exams just because of how I felt at the moment. And during this decision making season, I had a throat condition, so I visited the ENT specialist. Now you see, I wasn't a very modest dresser in college. Okay, I was wearing this tight dress and holding a laptop bag. My outfit was too far from what you'd expect a teacher to wear to school. Then I was standing outside the clinic, and there were other doctors' patients in line with me. But out of the blue, someone called out, "Teacher, teacher." So I looked behind me and saw this little girl, and she said, "Teacher," again while looking at me. I smiled so wide, like this now, and the girl showed me her beautiful smile too. So you see, I was wearing something that's totally inappropriate for a teacher to wear, but the girl still called me teacher out of the blue. And I was teary-eyed, and this was my confirmation. Now, the following semester, I enrolled in a few subjects in BS Ed, and I took the licensure exams in 2015. Well, I did it. I passed. Thank you, Lord. I knew in my heart that I was going to pass. Okay, not because of my abilities, but because I had my confirmation, my go signal. That same year, I also acquired my TESOL certificate, which is another requirement for aspiring English teachers, especially if you plan to teach abroad. Okay, so you need your professional teacher's license, even though it's obtained here in the Philippines, that's okay. And then a TESOL or an EFL teaching certificate there. Now, sadly, ESL teaching didn't pay much back then. So after half a year in Life Academy, my first teaching center, I applied in Converges. It was a fun learning experience too. I loved the people I worked with, but my heart didn't belong to the BPO industry. So I went back to teaching ESL. To this day, I'm still in love with what I do. Now, as the saying goes, choose a job you love and you never have to work a day in your life. It is true. It is very, very true. So why am I sharing these with you? Because I want you to keep this in mind. You have to explore and find that one thing you are most passionate and happy about so that you will love your career in the future. Why does it matter if you love your career or not when it's paying the bills? First, your mental health matters. If you are doing something just to pay the bills, don't expect that you will be fulfilled doing it, and don't expect that you will always be happy with what you do. Expect feeling burnt out every now and then. Well, I am speaking from my own experience, of course. Second, if you love what you do, your work will be excellent without effort. Your best will flow out of you naturally because it brings you happiness to do what you do. Also, knowing and being sure that you are in the field that God's has designed for you. Okay, it will maximize your potential to be used by God with all the talent He's given you for His greater glory. After a year of teaching ESL face to face in the morning and then online at night, I went abroad as a tourist and looked for a teaching job when I was already there. I did not recommend you to do this, that's very risky, but I am a risk taker. After a few months of uncertainty, I got hired at an early education center. Yeah, so this was my biggest break. Mm. I taught in Beijing and Xiamen, Fujian, and China for 3 years. I started as a lead teacher and then later became the head of the teaching department. We catered mainly to kids aged 2 to 6 years old. This was the same age group that I taught at Victory Kids Church. The time I spent in baby power for few of the best years of my life, really. Now, fast forward to 2019, I went home and stayed to take care of my mom, who had suffered from a stroke. She's doing better now, but it really didn't cross my mind to go back abroad because I can earn what I used to make in China, teaching online here in the Philippines from the comfort of my own home. Okay, so you see, this is not my home. This is a virtual background, but you get the point. This didn't come easy, of course, but I believe that everything that happened in the years past was a part of God's plan for this excellent freelance career that I have now. I stayed at home with my mom and tried to look for teaching jobs online because I can't work outside. I need to take care of her. I reached out to a few batchmates who I knew were teaching online to give me leads on good companies to apply to. Ate Gemma Guinea, my senior, told me that there's a group of parents and teachers called Chi Pan or Bunny English. It's not a company. It's literally just a group of parents and teachers who work together to tutor the kids. And they were looking for a teacher at the time. Ate Gem gave me their contact details, and to cut the story short, I sent my introduction video, my CV, I did a demo class, and I got hired. And I worked with them for about 2 years. During this time, the COVID-19 outbreak started, so the students were all studying from home. This gave teachers in the group an opportunity to earn as much as 15 to 20,000 a week, depending on how many teaching slots we will open weekly. I'm not saying that all companies give the same amount of salary to online teachers, but this group is one of the best out there. Okay, there are companies who, you know, pay very, very minimal salary to their teachers. I don't suggest that you apply to those companies. Well, yeah. Okay, going back. I also became a partner of Xiaomei English Online during this time. It's an online ESL platform based in China. I was in charge of hiring teachers for them, and I also trained teachers to be better equipped in teaching Chinese kids online. Then by early 2021, I left the group and stopped managing teachers in Xiaomei and started my own platform. Um, your English Corner PH, it's it's my heart's prayers, you know, fulfillment. So by the grace of God, I was able to build this group where I had my own client base. I started with just a few students. I contacted Chinese friends asking for referrals. I looked for Facebook groups of foreign parents looking for English teachers for their kids. I Googled ways to find private students for freelance online teachers. You see, I exhausted every resource that I thought of and prayed earnestly and trusted that God will always provide for my mom and me. You see, the bottom line is these opportunities that I had didn't just come my way, but I went out of my way to find them. Of course, through God's leading and blessing, I was able to land these awesome jobs. As a freelance teacher, I wasn't earning as much when I first started, but I trusted God's leading and just kept on offering excellent tutoring services to my students. Through referrals, my client base widened. Now I have 19 students of my own, and I am only teaching for 4 to 6 hours from Sunday to Friday and 8 hours on Saturdays. All this while I also manage 4 teachers who teach some of the students from my client base. Now that's a passive income, you see. You may think that 19 students isn't a lot, but when you're an ESL teacher and you have a full or nearly full schedule every day, this means more income. And of course, you know you are doing well because the clients continue to avail your service. What's also great about being a freelance worker is you can set your own rate. Well, of course, you need to back it up. If you're asking for a high payment for your service, you need to be able to back it up with a job and background worth the price you're asking for. You also have to check, you know, your client base if they can afford it. You can adjust it depending on what you and your client will agree upon. However, I did not suggest that you go freelance after finishing your education. You know, the training and experience you will obtain from working in a company with a group of people or a platform will help hone you to become a better individual, to be better in what you do, and you will also meet role models along the way. What I attained in my years of teaching didn't happen overnight. No. They all happened by the grace of God, and because to this day, I make sure that I give my best in every trial class for potential clients. I also continue to be creative and innovative to keep my current students engaged and interested in our classes while making sure that they are learning, of course. I mentioned that it's vital to do what you love and that you are passionate about what you do because Excellence will flow out of you naturally. And with excellence comes success. I keep talking about being excellent in what you do. When I say this, I mean for you to be outstanding in what you do. You show up on time, you come prepared, and you always give your work your best shot. Good things never come to those who do mediocre stuff. Never. If you're going to ask me about my secret, it's my unwavering faith that the God who has been faithful to me in a foreign land, whose language I never really understood in the beginning, is the same God who will sustain me and my family now that I am working freelance. And hard work, patience, perseverance, huge faith in God and in the talent He blessed you with, unceasing prayers. These are all formulas to gaining success in your field. Above all, know that the same God who has given me this triumph in my field is the same God who's yearning to bless you abundantly. If only you'll approach the throne of grace and allow Him to be Lord over your life. Now, let me end this with Bible verses. In Proverbs 19, verse 21, it says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail." And also, let's commit to the Lord whatever we do, and He will establish our plans. So God bless you and keep you on your journey, and may He reveal to you the path that He has designed for your life, that you may thrive and bloom in grace as you build your future career. If you have any questions, I will leave my contact details to Miss Stacy. Okay, God bless you.